Okay, I just did it. I pushed that red button. So I'm Grandma. My grandchildren know that I am Grandma, but anyone can watch me and play along with me. If you want to, I think you might want to. You might like it. I hope you do. And but mostly it's for my grandchildren. I want to do some stories and some songs, maybe, and just talk about some of the things I did when I was little, and probably show some crafting, coloring, pictures that I draw and paint, or um, things that I make out of stuff. And so I have 11 grandchildren. And so I happen to have 10 fingers and then one more to make 11. Oh gosh, I'm going to have water in here. So I'm going to sing a welcome kind of song. I know 2 welcome songs right off the top of my head, and I might think of some more as days go on. But this one is one I learned probably from my church class that I've sung in different preschool places with all kinds of children, and it's kind of hard to talk in front of a camera, so singing might be better. So here we are together, together, together. Oh, here we are together with Grandma today. Or wherever you want to say it. In preschool today, or something like that. We're going to do with Grandma today. And then you start naming off all the people that are with you. Now, I'm going to name 11 children's names. And you can help me hold up your fingers as I count, as I say their names, sing their names, and maybe they're going to come out random. Let's see. Now, in this room, this is my Sunshine Studio room. Nobody really sleeps in here. This is where I do have a crib, where I just have all my stuff for painting. There's a closet here for painting, and actually not all my stuff is in here, but I try to keep a lot of my stuff in here. Here we are together, together, together. Oh, here we are together with Grandma today. There's Caitlin and Addison and Logan and Evan and Charlotte and Ethan and Charles and Ajax and Logan. Did I say Logan already? And Lincoln. Oh, and June. I said so many of you already twice. June and... Let me start over. Let's just start over. Don't put your fingers up yet. Okay, I'll try to remember who I am forgetting, because I don't want to forget anybody. Here we are together, together, together. Oh, here we are together with Grandma today. I have to have a system. There's Charles and June and Lincoln and Logan and Ajax and Isaac and Evan and Charlotte and Caitlin. What more? And Addison. Here we are together with Grandma today. Okay, now another part of the song is you kind of have to get two words together that describe what's going on for your day. And sometimes you can like look out out the window or outside somehow and see if it's a windy, blustery day, or what else? You could have a busy shopping day. All kinds of things that you can imagine is going to happen in that day. Story crafting day, or a bright sunny day. Okay, so we're gonna sing it again, but I'm not gonna say everybody's names. I have everybody. You're all here, and more. Here we are together, together, together. Oh, here we are together with Grandma today. There's everybody and everybody and everybody and everybody. Oh, here we are together this bright new day. And your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. So here we are together with Grandma today. I think that's the way it goes. Okay, so I have so much that I have been thinking about telling everybody, but one thing I want to do is read a story. So we will do that for sure. This is called Enemy Pie, and it's backwards to you. Is it? Let's see. What would happen? Turn this around. You see the other side of me. I mean, what is going on your side? Okay, let's see what happens. Enemy Pie. All right, Gooseneck. I'm going to scoot this out a little bit more. And Enemy Pie is a book that, that Danae, my youngest, Aunt Danae came home with one day from school. And I guess the author had come to visit because she got it signed. Maybe she was at some special, what's it called? Assembly or field trip place where they went to see this author, Enemy Pie. Okay. And this author is Derek Munson and illustrated by Tara Callahan King. The one that says by means they wrote the words, made up all the words and how the story goes. The one that says illustrated is the one that drew the pictures. So, Enemy Pie, what do you think is this story going to be about? Look at that pie. Ugh. Okay, let's look at some more pictures. I like you to see the words, straight ahead. I mean, so if you want to read along, you could. And most people don't read backwards. There it is. See, the author signed to Danae. I'm pretty sure that's what the author wrote. And look, the author can draw as well. and it says Peace by Derek Munson. That's his signature. Okay. And then this is the first page. Sometimes I like to look at some of the pictures first and see what's going to happen. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute, that's a different game. All right. I'm turning you back around now. Whoa, sorry. Okay, I'm going to turn you back around so that I'm going to read it and show you, read a page, and then show you a picture on this one. It should have been a perfect summer. My dad helped me build a tree house in our backyard. My sister was at camp for 3 whole weeks. And I was on the best baseball team in town. It should have been a perfect summer. And then he says, turn around. And then he says, but it wasn't. Oh dear. It was all good until Jeremy Ross moved into the neighborhood right next door to my best friend Stanley. I did not like Jeremy Ross. He laughed at me when he struck me out in a baseball game. He had a party on his trampoline and I wasn't invited. But my best friend Stanley was. Jeremy Ross was the one and only person on my enemy list. I never even had an enemy list until he moved into the neighborhood, but as soon as he came along, I needed one. I hung it up in my treehouse where Jeremy Ross was not allowed to go. Okay, you're going to love this picture. He's hanging it up. I love to use a hammer. He's in his tree fort, so I believe it's okay to hammer anywhere he wants in his tree fort. And I can tell he's in his tree fort because look how high up he is. He's way up. There must be a window in his tree fort, and he can see as high as where a bird would make his nest, high over the house roof. Whew. I don't know about that high of a tree fort. Maybe it's just for the picture because I'm kind of scared. Dad understood stuff like enemies. Yeah. Wait a minute. No. I don't think I finished. Jeremy Ross, yeah. But as soon as he came on, I needed one. Yep, I hung it up. Yep. Where Jeremy Ross was not allowed to go. Up in the tree fort, right? Up in his tree house. Yeah. I'm not going to take an enemy up there. Dad understood stuff like enemies. He told me that when he was my age, he had enemies too. But he knew of a way to get rid of them. I asked him to tell me how. Tell me how? Oh, tell you how? I'll show you how, he said. He pulled a really old recipe off the kitchen shelf. Inside there was a torn out scrap of paper with faded writing. Dad held it up and squinted at it. Enemy pie, he said, satisfied. There they are at the kitchen table. Poor kid. He just does not know what to do. But Dad's going to help. Did it say what the kid's name was in the first place? Well, I don't know. Maybe Derek is writing about his own story. You may be wondering what exactly is in enemy pie. I was wondering too, but Dad said the recipe was so secret he couldn't even tell me. I decided it must be magic. I begged him to tell me something, anything. I will tell you this, he said. Enemy pie is the fastest known way to get rid of enemies. Now, of course, this got my mind working. What kinds of things, disgusting things, would I put into an enemy pie? A pie for enemies? I brought Dad some weeds from the garden, but he just shook his head. I brought him earthworms and rocks, but he didn't think he needed those. I gave him gum I'd been chewing on all morning. He gave it right back to me. Look at all this. Maybe you can think of some disgusting things to put in an enemy pie. Look at Dad. He's so happy. He's got all good things going. All right, weeds, worms, rocks, chewed up gum, and bugs. Look at those little flies. Those would be good too. I went out to play alone. I shot baskets until the ball got stuck on the roof. I threw a boomerang that never came back to me. And all the while, I listened to the sounds of my dad chopping and stirring and blending the ingredients of enemy pie. This could be a great summer after all. Enemy pie was going to be awful. I tried to imagine how horrible it must smell, or worse yet, what would it look like? But when I was in the backyard looking for ladybugs, I smelled something really, really, really good. And as far as I could tell, it was coming from our kitchen. Shooting a basket up to the hoop. Must have gone way high to get up on the roof. And it doesn't show the boomerang, which never came back. And remember how good it was smelling? And then he said, I was a bit confused. He didn't think it should be smelling good, but it was. All right. I went in to ask Dad what was wrong. Enemy pie shouldn't smell this good. But Dad was smart. If enemy pie smelled bad, your enemy would never eat it, he said. I could tell he'd made enemy pie before. The buzzer rang and Dad put on the oven mitts and pulled the pie out of the oven. It looked like plain old pie. It looked good enough to eat. I was catching on. But still, I wasn't really sure how this enemy pie worked. What exactly did it do to enemies? Maybe it made their hair fall out, or their breath stinky. Maybe it made bullies cry. I asked Dad, but he was no help. He wouldn't tell me a thing. But while the pie cooled, he filled me in on my job. This one, you gotta look. He's just so excited about seeing how tricky that pie is. He talked, oh, wait, turn himself around. He talked quietly. There is one part of enemy pie that I can't do. In order for it to work, you need to spend a day with your enemy. Even worse, you have to be nice to him. It's not easy, but that's the only way the enemy pie can work. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Of course I was. It sounded horrible. It was scary, but it was worth a try. All I had to do was spend one day with Jeremy Ross, then he'd be out of my hair for the rest of my life. I rode my bike to his house and knocked on the door. I know some of you have bikes. You get to ride them down the street. What's he wearing on his head? Good thinking. Good thinking, big head. Wear a helmet. Keep your big head safe. Okay, let's get through this story here. He knocked at the door. When Jeremy opened the door, he seemed surprised. He stood on the other side of the screen door and looked at me, waiting for me to say something. I was nervous. Can you play? I asked. He looked confused. I'll go ask my mom, he said. He came back with his shoes in his hand. His mom walked around the corner to say hello. You boys stay out of trouble, she said, smiling. Your first look at Jeremy. He doesn't look so bad. But, could be rough. We rode bikes for a while and played on the trampoline. Then we made some water balloons and threw them at the neighbor girls. But we missed. Jeremy's mom made us lunch. After lunch, we went over to my house. It was strange, but I was kind of having fun with my enemy. He almost seemed nice. But of course, I couldn't tell Dad that since he'd worked so hard to make this enemy pie. Jeremy Ross liked my basketball hoop. He said he wished he had a basketball hoop, but they didn't have room for one. I let him win one game just to be nice. There he is, filling up balloons. That is a fun summertime thing to do. Make water balloons. Those girls must have been fast and quick. She's doing that thumb to the nose kind of, try and catch me, try and get me. But they missed. Oh well, anyway, he's really trying to be nice, huh? Making this enemy pie stuff work. Jeremy Ross knew how to throw a boomerang. He threw it, and it came right back to him. I threw it, and it went over my house and into the backyard. When we climbed over the fence to see it, the first thing Jeremy noticed was my treehouse. All right, here, now you can see what a boomerang shape is. It's this kind of a, I guess it's kind of like a frisbee type thing, but you fling it and then it's supposed to kind of catch the wind and float right back to you. What is this kid gonna say about no enemies allowed in his treehouse? My treehouse was my treehouse. I was the boss. If my sister wanted in, I didn't have to let her. If my dad wanted in, I didn't have to let him. And if Jeremy wanted in, can we go in? He asked. I knew he was only going to ask me that. I knew he was going to ask me that. But he was the top person. The only person on my enemy list. And enemies aren't allowed in my treehouse. But he did teach me how to throw a boomerang. And he did have me over for lunch. And he did let me play on his trampoline. He wasn't being a very good enemy. Okay, I said, but hold on. What do you think he has to do before he lets Jeremy up into his tree fort? We'll see. I climbed up ahead of him and tore the enemy list off the wall. I had a checkerboard and some cards in the treehouse, and we played games until my dad called us down for dinner. We pretended we didn't hear him, and when he came out to get us, we tried to hide from him, but somehow he found us. Yoo-hoo! It's time for dinner. They're playing games. Did you see what that was? I like that the artist saved that clue there for us. Dad made us macaroni and cheese for dinner, my favorite. It was Jeremy's favorite too. Maybe Jeremy Ross wasn't so bad after all. I was beginning to think that maybe we should just forget about the enemy pie. But sure enough, after dinner, Dad brought out the pie. I watched as he cut the pie into 8 thick pieces. Dad, I said, it sure is nice having a new friend in the neighborhood. I was trying to get his attention and trying to tell him that Jeremy Ross was no longer my enemy, but Dad only smiled and nodded. I think he thought I was doing a good job of pretending. All right. Macaroni and cheese. Pie. Okay, and Dad dished up 3 plates side by side with big pieces of pie and giant scoops of ice cream. He passed one to me and one to Jeremy. Wow, Jeremy said, looking at the pie. My dad never makes pies like this. It was at this point that I panicked. I didn't want Jeremy to eat enemy pie. He was my friend. I couldn't let him eat it. Jeremy, don't eat it. It's bad pie. I think it's poisonous or something. Jeremy's fork dropped. Stopped. Before he reached his mouth. Oh, it stopped. Okay, I gotta show you a picture. Because it's right where the spot where I was reading. Oh, I think it's in his drink. Don't do it. He crumpled his eyebrows and looked at me funny. I felt relieved. I had saved his life. I was a hero. If it's so bad, Jeremy asked, then why has your dad already eaten half of it? I turned to look at my dad. Sure enough, he was eating enemy pie. Good stuff, he mumbled through a mouthful. And that was all he said. I sat there watching them eat enemy pie for a few seconds. Dad was laughing. Jeremy was happily eating, and neither of them was losing any hair. It seemed safe enough, so I took a teensy taste. Enemy pie was delicious. Dad says, "Good stuff." Teensy bite, and it was delicious. After dessert, Jeremy rode his bike home, but not before inviting me over to play on his trampoline in the morning. He said he'd teach me how to flip. As for enemy pie, I still don't know how to make it. I still wonder if enemies really do hate it, or if their hair falls out, or if their breath turns bad. But I don't know if I'll ever get an answer, because I just lost my best enemy. Yay! There they are. Can you tell? All right, so one of them is on the trampoline. The other one is way above the trampoline. Do you see how high he is? When he goes back down, though, Jeremy's going to go flying. That's a good way to draw that. And that is the end of that great story. I haven't read that story very much. It's not one that I grew up with, but I have other stories that I want to read, other days that will be wonderful, that I knew about when I was little, and I have read while my children, your moms and dads were growing up, and aunts and uncles were growing up. And I don't know how long to make this, time with you. But for now, I have so many things I just want to tell you. I just want to show you that I have lots of binders that this says Julie Compton before Alexander. When I was little, my name was Julie Compton, and then when I got married, I married J. Alexander, and we got the same last name. So I kind of have Julie Compton Alexander, but mostly Alexander. Grandma Alexander. And this binder has pictures of me before I got married when I was little. So that was one. Anyway, I want to show you this one that has me, and I'm in the year that I was born in 1963, and this holding me is my grandmother, Loa Lyman Stoddard. And so yeah, so I have binder of me growing up, but I'll run out of my batteries. I had to just plug you in, so I can't really turn you around. Showing you that's me, all cool with my pant leg rolled up. And that's me getting a dog kiss. I don't know. I think you saw that. Oh, there we go. That dog, I don't remember that dog. I have other pets that I remember. Okay. So, I wanted to show you some other ones. There's me when I'm old enough to have teeth. It looks like I'm a year old. I wonder who's holding my hand. Might have been my grandfather or my dad. And this is one of my brothers. And this is me when I was 3. Picture that someone, I went to a photo studio, got my picture taken. More of that day. And this is when I'm 4. I was really shy on that day. I didn't want to get my picture taken. I didn't want to look at the camera. So I'll show you some more of them. I didn't want to smile. Look at me trying not to smile. It's like, oh, don't take my picture. And I was like, Mommy, stay here with me. I held on to her hand. I guess I'm kind of starting to warm up. Do I have to do this? There's kind of a smile. I kind of think I look like Ethan. Or, I mean, I kind of think Ethan looks like me. Maybe that's because maybe it's because we're related. All right, and then by the time I was 5, I went to kindergarten, and they started taking pictures at school. At the school, they take pictures of you, and then that was kindergarten. Let's see, 5 years old. And then 6 years old. Look how I'm growing, except I still have my baby teeth. 6 years old. And not only did they, so they just took your picture and then they put all the whole class together in pictures. Can you see me in there? Yep. That one right above. That was me. And this was my friend Sarah. And this was my friend Lisa. And let's see who else I know. This was Jeff. Yeah. My teacher, Mrs. Campbell, and Mr. Donovan. Mr. Donovan looks like such a happy guy right now, but we were all scared of him for some reason. Okay. Is that when I'm 6? Yep. And then this is me when I'm, wait a minute, let me count again. 5, 6, 7. I don't have a little picture of me when I'm 7. I just have, but I kind of still look the same when I'm 7. It's the same teacher even too, because she did, the next year she kept the ones that were going to turn into second grade, and got some first graders too. You see me? I still have short hair. Still have short hair. Yeah, I think I probably have the shortest hair of girls in the whole class. That's me. 7. And then I guess I decided I didn't want short hair anymore. That's me when I'm 8. And this is me when I'm 9. Oh yeah, I got teeth. I got my big teeth, I guess when I was 8. Sometime between 7 and 8-ish. Yeah, you can tell. Big teeth are coming in. 9, and here I'm 10. 10 is 5th grade. I should show you this one because this was one of my favorite teachers. Mrs. Collins. Look how bright and smiley she is. That's the teacher, and still Mr. Donovan. And there's Sarah growing up. Is Lisa in this one too? I don't think Lisa's here in this class this time. But you see me? And then, what am I? 10? Was I 10 there? And here I am, 11. The single pictures they did in color, but the ones of all of us together, this is the first one that's done in color. Oh, there I am. Way over here. That was the first time I had a man teacher. And we changed principals. This was Mr. Baker. Nope, sorry, this was Mr. Baker. Mr. Hammond. Everyone wanted Mr. Hammond in the 6th grade. Everyone did. That was like, oh yeah, you're going to have the best 6th grade ever. And I think I did. I had lots of friends. And one time, there were some times when people didn't always get along with me. I think I was great. But I kind of have a song about that too. And I thought about it for a while, and I want to sing it. Let's see. It's about what Jesus teaches. And Jesus goes, Jesus said, love everyone, treat them kindly too. When your heart is filled with love, others will love you. And as I was singing that, sometimes it just comes to my head, and I think, and it makes my day brighter when I just have a little song in my head. Jesus said, love everyone, treat them kindly too. When your heart is filled with love, others will love you. Well, I said to Grandpa, you know what? I love other people. I think I love everybody. Even some people that like are mean and do hard things. I mean, rough things, kind of mean things. And especially because that's what Jesus taught. And I want to always try to do what Jesus teaches. And I said, but look, in the song it says, if I love everyone and treat them kindly too, Jesus said, love everyone, treat them kindly too. When your heart is filled with love, others will love you. And I was like, sometimes that's not true. Not always others will love me too. And I said, how come? To Grandpa, how come that is? When I try to love everyone and not everyone loves me back? And he said, the song doesn't say that. The song doesn't say that everyone is going to love you back. But others will love you. There's always someone who will love you. And sometimes, it might be hard to find. And but what I always remember is that Jesus loves me, and he has taught me to love. When he talks about some of the stories that he tells in the Bible, I'll tell you some more stories about them another time. But not everybody is always going to love you or even treat you kindly too. But what does that mean? Does that mean that I should not love them and should not treat them kindly? That's not what Jesus says. He says, Jesus said, love everyone. Treat them kindly too. When your heart is filled with love, others will love you. And I believe that's true. Those pictures I showed you of some of the kids in my class, some of them did wrong things and they got in trouble. Some of them did some wrong things and never got in trouble. And they were a little bit harder to be around. But sometimes I felt sorry for them. And somehow I found ways, especially through Heavenly Father's help, to find some good things about them and to love them. So anyway, that kind of goes with enemy pie. And growing up and learning how to be friends. So, even though some days are cold and blustery, I'm glad that it's summertime almost. June, we're in June right now. June is a great month. We should be having some more sunny days, but today is kind of a gray day. That's all right, because in here, in my sunshine studio, especially when I'm with you, I have a sunny day every day. And I like sunny days. Let me show you around a little bit, because I think I have I'm going to try to go for 60 minutes. Oh, sorry, I'm making you all dizzy. Okay, so when I first come in here, look how sunny it is. On this side, I have a poster full of Grandpa when he was little, and a picture of Jesus way down here, holding a lamb. And this is a funny thing that Grandpa had as he was growing up for his light switch case, and we just keep it there. And there's a craft that I made one time. And here's the calendar. June. Oh, let's see. Is this the right year? It must be 4th. June 4th? Thursday, June 4th. There's some kids playing on the playground with, it looks like they must have a teacher there too. And there's a song that I like to sing that my mother taught me. And there's some other, that's a story I'm going to read to you one day about the rainbow. There's some things that I painted, and more paintings and drawings. Oh, those were things that was from some of my daughters did, and this, Charles made this. I love you this much, Charles. And some of other things that I painted and drawn. And I can't show you everything in detail. Here's some of the love notes that I've been getting from you and some of my friends. Some of them haven't been able to fit up there, so I have a stack here that I'm going to put in my scrapbook. Charlotte made a birthday card for Grandpa. She even put a present in it. I don't know if you saw that. Anyway, this is kind of, oh, thanks. Yeah, Charlotte. I gotta put that back because there's one for Grandpa. There's one for Grandma. And there's some flowers from my garden. Some more things that I paint. Oh, those are some sun catchers. When the sun shines. I actually, this is a picture of some face that I drew, but on the other side is kind of a dark painting. That's better when you see the light. It's a painting that I was showing. I put it on the window so that people could see it as they walk by. I sometimes like to show that. Anyway, and that rainbow. And this crib is the one that your mommies and daddies slept in when they were babies. And this was their mobile. And you twist it. And it winds up. Oh, you can tell what it's going to. This is a picture that I painted a little bit yesterday. Some of the other ones did other days. A lot of pens and marker kinds of pencils and crayons. Things we can do other days. And one more thing I can show you. This book, I'll show you more of it other days. But this book is a drawing book. It shows you how to take a shape and add more shapes, more shapes, more shapes, more shapes, more shapes, and then color it in, and you have something like an animal. He did lots of animals. This is the one I wanted to show you because yesterday I did this one. Well, I did this one. And it's just simple pictures. But here's my sketchbook. I'm not going to sneak. Oh, sorry. There. That's what came out of doing that. And now, I'm going to sneeze again. When I got this first got this book, it was a birthday present. I want to show you the words. Oh, they're backwards. Happy birthday to Julie Compton, the 21st of August of 1973. I was born in 63, so I know 73. That was 10 years old. And it's from grandmother and grandfather Stoddard. And so when I was 10, I started making those shapes and trying those different things to make animals. And then just yesterday, now that it's 2020, after working for days and days and years, I can add more detail and just more of my own style and make that kind of a lion. So just keep doing what you love and keep being who you are, and you'll be the best you ever. Some people will do some things different than what you do, and that's okay. Everyone has their own way, and yours is you, and I love you. And I'll talk to you again probably, I don't know, next time I get on. Each time will get easier and easier, like everything that you practice and try to do your best at. It'll get easier and it'll get better. All right, I sure love you.